Hi, what up, YouTube? This is No Cap No Filter. I'm your host, Molly G, back at y'all in an episode of Running With You. And tonight we got to run it about. I came across this sister says she has a message for black men, and she basically saying we need to break generational curses. We need to truly heal because the generation after us will need us. Uh, didn't really see much of this video. We're going to react to it together. Without further ado, let's get on and see what the sister has to say. Very beautiful sister, I might add. Look natural. He's the type of woman that I like.
My brothers, I really need y'all to hear me when I say this. We need y'all. We need y'all to overcome lust. We need y'all to overcome pride. We need y'all to overcome childhood trauma. We need y'all to break these generational curses. Stop having kids and you not marrying these women. Stop having sex, period, if you're not married. Stop selling drugs. Stop killing people. Stop robbing. Stop. The Most High has created y'all to be mighty men, and y'all are destroying y'all destiny and y'all lineage by allowing the enemy to have so much control over y'all. It's time to be disciplined. It's time to step up. Yeah, you may pray, but are you being disciplined? Are you meeting the Father halfway? I'm not trying to yell, but I just see so much for y'all. But if you're not even trying to do right, if you're not even trying to make better decisions, then how are
It's crazy. I'm about to say she's so beautiful again, but the first thing she said, we need to control our lust.
we as women?
But it looked like she about to get into other women. I was just about to comment on that and be like, well, I think the main battle we got, you know, is the battle with our women. I think the generation, not the general, well, the generation that we in, we at odds with the other gender so much when it comes to voicing our opinion online, when it comes to all these podcasts, when it comes to all these narratives, all these rhetoric. And the dating market right now is just plummeting the chances of having a two-parent household. And I think that's the best thing that can happen for society is having an actual two-parent household. I think today a lot of fathers are stepping up to the plate and being there for their kids, but it's still too many broken homes. Um, as far as lust, I think men gonna always have lust, but I think we can do better and stop putting ourselves in bad predicament and situations. You look at the Shannon Sharp thing that's going on. You look at so many, guys who are just, you know, I ain't gonna say throwing their lives away, but making terrible generational mistakes. From can't controlling their lust. They can't control their emotions. Settle a lot of differences through violence. Don't do no type of problem solving. Can't use words and get through indifference without being able to lash out and hit someone. And I think a lot of that has to do with the father not being in the household, instilling, how gentlemen supposed to settle their differences. Now, of course, there's going to be times where, violence is going to be had, but it should never get to the point where, like she said, guns should get involved, deaths, robberies, things of that nature. She talks about the enemy. I think right now the biggest enemy is ourselves and the other gender, because like I say, it's a gender war going on and it's ourselves. A lot of people are better than trauma. A lot of people are better than demons. A lot of people are insecure. A lot of people worry about too much what the other person thinks about them and try to show off for people who really just don't give a damn, you know. Um, let's see what she says about the women right now.
Going to really submit to a certain order if that order is out of order? If you have a problem with lust, you need to be single. You need to heal. If you have a problem with money, you need to fully give it to Yahusha. Stop trying to do things on your own. It doesn't make you weak to cry out in prayer. It doesn't make you weak to reach out to a brother and ask for fellowship. It doesn't make you weak to get a 9-to-5 job and stop arguing and killing your brother. It doesn't make you weak. It makes you strong. Please transform. Please change. Please repent. Please get it together. Please make better decisions. Y'all can do it.
Okay. She talked about uh being better with money. I do think right now we at very bad times when it comes to gambling. I think there's so many guys right now gambling right now, even young guys, they're doing parlays. They're doing parlays on things that not even really sports. They're doing parlays on gaming, like e-gaming and stuff like that. All these different ads with prize picks and all these kick streamers, they having they a lot of their ads are sold to their consumers, because they having these brand deals with these gambling companies. And I think right now that's definitely making an impact on men's financial burden. Also, she spoke on selling drugs to the community. I never agree with that when it comes to selling drugs to your own people. Like, people will literally sell drugs to their friends, mama. People will literally sell drugs to their own auntie, because they feel like, well, they might as well spend with me because they're gonna spend it regardless. Uh, but at the same time, you're killing your community, like you literally setting somebody else lifeline back. You literally deterring somebody else lifeline off the strength of greed and money. You know. Um, what else did she speak on? She spoke on reaching out for fellowship. A lot of men, I think, a lot of men. I think we have our social. I think we have our circles where we feel the need to have our safe space. But I think a lot of people can have a therapist that's just completely unbiased. For a long time, a lot of black people, we disagree with having a therapist, seeing the strength. It was just seemed as weak. But I think, this time and era, a lot of people are going to see a therapist. And I think that, we could have more big brother programs, for guys that's a little bit older to, have a big brother type of program to steer the youth in the right direction. And I think we definitely need more youth centers. I think that's the main key thing that could help our community. Youth centers for women that's going through abuse. Youth centers for uh kids that's going through abuse in the household. Youth centers for young men that's in the streets, and have them doing something positive or recreational to distract them from getting in the streets. I think that Baltimore instilled a youth center, and I think crime went down dramatically. Still kind of bad, but at the same time, it went down. I think if all these cities, Baltimore, Detroit, New Orleans, Memphis, if all these cities was to have a good 3 youth centers in them, I think it'll do much, much, much good work within the community. And she mentioned on praying. I think a lot of people, should be praying more often, not just when you in a bind, or if you, in a situation where you feel like, damn, man, I don't know what else to do. I just need to pray on this. You know, Pray when you ain't going through some type of turmoil. Pray on a good day, you know, not just when you always need something, you know, or just having a big turmoil type of situation in your life. Other than that, man, I think she also said something about, if you want the woman to submit, and if you want the woman to, you know, change up the way they are, men gotta lead right. And I think Dr. Umar was having this conversation with some other guys on a podcast, and he was like, the main reason why our society is the way it is right now is because the men. If the men straighten up, the woman will fall in line. And a lot of the men was kind of having pushback. He was like, yeah, Dr. Umar, respectfully, you just kind of older and you ain't in this era. It ain't really so much the men, it's just the woman. Times have changed with social media, hypergamy, and people are valuing different things. Like shame not a thing no more. Begging not don't get cared about no more. Like, look at the Glorilla situation with her brother. Like, everybody just care about clout. Everybody just care about money. Um, And right now, I think that took a big hit on the dating scene. I think that took a big hit on just society in general, and it's just a different time. So I could see the young guys not disagreeing with you more, but I can also see you more, man. If a lot of these dudes, you know, didn't, subscribe to OnlyFans, if a lot of dudes didn't simp, if a lot of dudes didn't do this and do that, a lot of these women wouldn't act the way they act, you know. So I could see both sides. And I think that if the men did show more leadership skills, act more like men, I think a lot of women would fall in line. But I think we fall far away from that, getting to where we needed to be. I think we very far off. I will it one day be to the where it's up to standards and up to our likings, like how it was maybe in the 1950s. I don't know. I don't know, but hopefully one day we can get back to that. You know, hopefully one day we can get back to that, because a lot of people will say segregation was one of the main things, or not segregation. The ending of segregation was one of the main things that started, because before we started, you know, integrating with everybody else, we had our own shit. We had our own stores. Like we had our own food. We had our Black Wall Street. Like we had everything of our own. But now, ever since we integrated, systematic racism get puts in place, and a whole bunch of stuff with government assistance, all that take a toll, and it just started generational curses. Like how she say, when it comes to drugs, when it comes to government assistance, when it's just so many things put in place. Colorism, everything is just divided. Everything is for splitting, and it's like that for a reason. But I want to know what y'all think down in the comment section below. Is this sister telling the truth, or it just all in bad? It just all don't even make no sense, because none of this going away no time soon. Let me know in the comment section down below what you think. If you like the video, hit the like button. If you're not subscribed, what you're waiting on? Need to get the views up, need to get the subs up, trying to get monetized so I could go ahead on and go hard for y'all and put this content out. 2026, we out here. Till next time, I'm out.